What's up, guys? So it's another glorious morning here in the garage, and we're gonna start off by getting this oil changed, and after that probably start working on the rest of the fuel system, and we'll see where it goes from there. So I know this stuff's kind of boring, but we're getting closer and closer to being able to try and fire this motor over and seeing if it'll actually run. I'm just gonna pull a battery out of one of my trucks instead of going and buying one for no reason. If the motor runs it running good, then I'll go buy a battery for it, but until then I'm just going to pull one out of the old dually right there. So, but for right now, let's get started. Well, we just put the oil in. You saw I drained everything, changed the filter. I'm gonna go ahead and let it drain to the bottom of the pan. I'm unsure of how much this pan holds. It looks like some sort of aftermarket pan, but it's kind of rusty, so I don't even know what the make is or anything like that. So I couldn't look up to see how many quarts it holds. So I just put a gallon in. I'm unsure if it takes more than 6 quarts or anything like that. So I'm just gonna let it drain after that gallon, and we'll figure out how much more it takes or if that's good enough. So give it a few minutes and I'll be right back with you. Alright, well, we got a slight predicament. So I went to go check the oil, and well, the dipstick came completely out of the block. I'm honestly having a hard time. I can't even see where the dipstick hole is because I can't get under it and see it, and I can't see it from above. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on where one's at. So I'm unfamiliar with the Ford 302s. I've worked with Chevy motors before, small block Chevys, but 302s are a little bit new to me. So let's figure out the location of this dipstick hole, and then let's get that back in so we can check the level. Alright, so problem fixed. Just a little hiccup. Found the hole. It was pretty simple. Got it back in, and so now we're going to go ahead. I'm going to turn the motor over a few times and just kind of see if I can get some oil pumped up into all the little nooks and crannies and crevices. I'll spin it over probably a good 10-15 times, and then we'll start worrying about the rest of the fuel system. And I'll have to look at my list and see what else we got to do other than draining the fuel and changing the fuel line, but we might be starting this thing today, so stay tuned. Alright, so we're going to make the throttle return spring now. I'm just going to take a little piece of metal, mount it to this bolt right here that's in the valve cover, and boom. See if I can't pull it up to about there, and that'll be that. That'll be your throttle return spring. So let's get this started. Alright, scratch that idea. We're going to go with something a little bit thinner, and then I'm just going to gusset it, and we'll make that our throttle return spring. Yeah, I just almost flipped over my bench and knocked over a bunch of oil and stuff, and it spilled all over the ground right there. But we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a little like 1-inch sheet out of this, put a 90 in it, put a gusset on it, drill 2 holes, and that'll be my throttle return bracket, spring bracket. So let's get started. Here's a little time lapse for you. Boom, spring, should be functional. And I'll probably trim it a little bit thinner to clean it up a little bit. But that'll be here in a little bit. I'm just trying to make function, not aesthetics. So let's continue this. Alright, so I'm going to test it out real quick before I gusset it. I really don't even think it needs a gusset, but alright. You might need to stretch that spring out just a little bit. It feels a little tight, but it works. It doesn't move much. There you have it. Throttle return spring. Alright, we're all set. Now we just got to do the fuel and turn over the motor a couple times before we try to start. So, stay tuned. What's up, guys? So we're going to be heading to the auto parts store to get a new battery for this thing. I was going to pull one out of my truck, but I just decided I'm just going to go buy one. So we'll see when we get back from there. What's up, guys? So we're back from the parts store. We picked up a battery if you want to come back here and see. We tested the fuel pump. It works and all that, but picked up this new Duralast battery. Nothing too extravagant, but we got something with some decent cold cranking amps. I forgot to put some mystery oil down in the cylinder to free up the rings a little bit. So we're going to pull the plugs real quick, me and my buddy Chris. And we're going to do that. Then we're going to pull the fuel line, drain the tank, and we're going to try and get this thing started for you guys. All right, see you then.
Or 50 pounds of water pressure.
Oh yeah.
Started right up. I'm surprised.
Good, good.
Your GoPro going?
Yeah, it's going.
You were just running out of fuel.
Damn.
Sounds solid.
So it needs a fuel pressure regulator.
Wasn't puking smoke or anything.
Good.
So maybe it wasn't lying about fucking it being good up until about 3 years ago.
I can't believe it. The fire right up as soon as it had a little bit
And
of
you weren't
gas.
lying about not getting any oil in pork holes.
No, not at all.
I figured we were gonna fog this place.
That's why it's aimed this way, not that way.
I got a little bit in one cylinder, but
Yeah. This. Well, boys and girls, as you can tell, it runs. We ran into a little bit of technical difficulties right up here on the top of the regulator. It's obviously an old regulator. It looks like someone might have nicked it and pisses fuel out of it. So we didn't run it off the tank, but we did put some fuel down the throat of the carburetor, and it runs. Seems to run pretty good. Might take a little bit of timing out of it. Shorten up some of these long lines and all that just to make them pretty. Fill the radiator up with some water and actually get some heat into the motor and see what it does. But that'll all probably be on the next video. Thanks for watching.